What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today I've got 4 crazy entitled parent stories which you're gonna love. She threatened to break my leg because I told her daughter I wasn't disabled. So here's a quick rundown. I have restless leg syndrome. Basically, when I'm calm or sitting down, one of my legs bounces and I don't have control over it. That's a syndrome? I've got that exact thing. What? Does anyone else have that where they can't stop shaking their leg? I did not know that was an actual thing. Wow. Basically, I was sat at Mackey's with a couple of friends eating my nuggets with sweet curry sauce. It's the best sauce. And my legs started bouncing. My mates pointed out and I'm just like, yeah, it happens all the time. I can't help it, but it'll ease down in a bit. So we keep eating. This woman, an entitled mum, and her daughter, ED, come in going on about what are we going to wear to a party on Saturday. This happened on Tuesday, and we pay them no mind. The leg bouncing has gotten worse and you can hear and obviously see it. They order food and sit right next to us in an almost empty McDonald's. One of the lads goes to get us all hot chocolate and I give him a couple of those free drink things you collect. The entitled daughter comes up to the group and asks if we can move because she has to do some planning for an upcoming party. We politely say no and keep eating. She starts huffing and goes, "You and your idiotic friend, move now." We all know that I was the idiot friend, so I kinda just quietly said, "I'm not mentally or physically disabled, it's just that I have a low iron level and I can't help it," and she just huffed again and left. Okay, I gotta correct myself a little bit. So I do shake my leg a lot, but I can stop it when I realize I'm doing it, so I'm not like this. A few minutes later, the entitled mum slid towards us. "How dare you lie to my precious baby girl, telling her you're normal?" We all just stayed quiet for a couple of seconds and she continued, "You're lying to a girl," she looked about 14, "about how you bounced your leg because of low iron, and that's BS. Actually, there are a lot of causes." She cut me off. "I don't care what a spastic like you has to say. Now apologize to my daughter for being a lying idiot or I'll break that leg of yours." She just kind of stood there waiting and tapping her foot. Because of this, one of my mates, the one who got hot chocolate, said, "Oh my god, look, her leg's bouncing. Ink, you passed it on. You're free." So we all started laughing and got up to leave. She would have followed us out, but I think she was in shock from getting shown up. The funny thing is that this Karen seems like such an idiot that I honestly believe that she actually would think that something like this can be passed on to other people. I feel like every time she catches herself tapping her foot in future, she's gonna think back to this and think, "Oh my god, OP curse me." Now very quickly before we get into this story, I just want to let you guys know that 57.2% of you, according to my analytics, are not subscribed. We're trying to get to 400,000 and then 500,000 as quickly as possible, so if you could all subscribe, that would be a massive help. Thanks so much, and on with the next story. A Karen got mad at me and my dad for me trying to help her son. I'm Polish and this happened roughly around 2007 or 2008. I was in the local McDonald's in Wałbrzych, sorry for butchering that, waiting for my order. Then in comes the entitled parent, a 30-something woman, obese, with a permanent look of passive aggression on her face, with 2 kids. One was I think 6 or 7, the entitled kid, and the other was a teenager. She was clearly not used to ordering stuff in fast food places because she said, Polish, insert Polish phrase here, which I can only translate to English as, "I want a sandwich, McDonald's." The man behind the counter asked which one, and she repeated with hearable annoyance that she wants a sandwich McDonald's. The teenager asked for a hamburger. It was clear he was fed up with his mum, and then the entitled kid started crying. So I came up to them and said to the entitled kid that I can order something for him if he doesn't understand how to do it. And then it happened. The entitled parent grabbed me by my shirt, pulled me up, and with an enraged face said that her kid is not going to eat anything because he's fat. The kid seemed average weight, to be honest, and then called me a pedophile. It would be understandable if I was a teen or an adult, but I was a kid too back then. She then grabbed her 2 kids and waddled out, barely getting through the door. I got sad. As a kid, I really hated being screamed at by people and it always made me cry. So I go back outside to my dad crying. He was talking to my mum through the phone and got really worried when he saw me crying. And then comes the entitled parent. Now she's waddling alone towards us, mad, screaming, "You there!" at my dad. She called him the F word, was bumbling something about me bothering her kid, and even threatened him with a lawsuit. Looking back on it, it must have looked comical to the onlookers because she was smaller than my dad, he's a very tall guy, and 6 times as wide as him, and because of her size and the fact she was getting redder and redder with anger, she looked like she was literally going to explode. Finally, my dad got fed up, did this kind of a fake movement towards her, she almost fell on her butt, but, and started waddling towards her car, screaming she'll sue us both, even as she was squeezing inside, and he only told her to pee off or else he'll call the police. She was so loud, one guy came over and asked if she's bothering us. My dad just said nah and laughed it off. God, I love my dad, he's so awesome. Yeah, I mean, this story is a very funny one and it seems quite lighthearted on the whole, but what that mum said to her kid, "You're too fat to eat," that is disgusting. Also, especially given the fact that she is so fat herself, she's in no position to say that. But seriously though, not allowing your kid to eat, that is just child abuse. You need to be locked up for that. Obese entitled mum that is trying to order fast food says that her average sized child is obese and doesn't deserve food. Makes a lot of sense. Now for our third story. Some lady tries to tell me my immunocompromised lungs are caused by vaccines and not my early birth. Here we go. So I was at my local Walmart one day checking out some stuff like the Halloween stuff and PS4 games when I hear what sounds like a pneumonia-like cough behind me. So I walk forward a bit to avoid possibly getting walking pneumonia, which has a high risk of killing me, like in the 60 to 50% range, when I hear, excuse me, could you help me find some items, young man? Oh boy. Oh sure, I can help you, mom. She sounded nice enough, like a really nice person, and when I saw her baby, I said, is it some stuff for your infant? I asked this looking at her and she said, oh no, I have everything for my baby. I just need some help finding the pharmacy. Our Walmart has a pharmacy in it and it's next to the medical and infant stuff. Oh, it's right next to the medical aisle. She looked at the flu shot sign saying to get a flu shot, it was flu season in the area. No, that's near the flu shots. I don't want to go near there. The baby let out a few raspy and/or barking coughs. I looked at the baby and said, does your baby have pneumonia? That sounds like pneumonia and I don't want your baby to go through pneumonia. It sucks. I looked at the baby and then at her and she looked a bit concerned. I'm trying to get him used to pneumonia. He's okay. Why? Are you immunocompromised? I looked at the baby, then back at her, covering my mouth with my sleeve. Yes, I'm immunocompromised in my lungs since I had to be born early and then let my baby infect you so you can evolve immunity. I backed away a bit. Lady, regular pneumonia can kill me if it's not treated right. She looked at me like I was crazy. No, it can't. Immunocompromisation is just your body's immune system getting ruined because of the vaccines. My mum was bleeding internally before I was born and I was gonna drown in blood if I wasn't born. That's why I'm immunocompromised. She got me the vaccines in because she was afraid I would have an inactive immune system. I walked away and shouted, by the way, that baby is gonna die in a few days due to pneumonia. Okay, bye. I left the store and watched to make sure she didn't follow me. I don't plan on going there during flu season. Yeah, that sounds like a very good idea to me. I mean, what a moron. Babies don't get used to pneumonia. They either get better or die. What the heck? And also, just because you get better one time, that doesn't mean that you won't get it again. Pneumonia can be caused by any number of viruses and bacteria, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, if you're a parent or you're gonna be a parent, please don't do this. Just like the mum in the first story, this entitled parent really needs to be reported to child support. Like, once again, this is genuinely abuse. Anyway, now for our final story. So I'm the POS for not pulling a bathroom out of my butt for your poorly dressed little girl. Hey folks, about a week ago at the gas station I work at, it was snowing pretty lightly and it was really chilly out. Definitely like the kind of bundle up weather. It had just passed about the 7 o'clock mark on my 2 to 10 shift and it was already pretty dark. Contextual bits. My gas station doesn't have public restrooms. All we have is a couple of porta potties round the right of the building. There's not a lot of light over there, but it's better than nothing considering we're a couple dozen miles from regular civilization. Now back to the story. This guy, ED or entitled dad, was maybe 30 to 35 years old. And he had an attitude from the get-go. He was with his daughter QC or quiet child. She said nothing and just sort of did what her dad asked her, looked around 5 to 6 years old. Now they come into the gas station and have about a 10-second look around the place before looking at me and asking if they could use our bathroom. We've only got porta potties around the right of the building. What? Not even for her? He gestures to his daughter. The porta potties are all we've got. It's goddamn freezing out there and there's hardly any light. You're really gonna make her go out there? Sir, I've already told you that we don't have anything but the porta potties, and unless you think she can hold it for a while, she's just gonna have to use it. Unbelievable. He grabs his quiet kid's arms and goes outside to the porta potties. At this point, I'm ticked off because 1, he just tried to guilt me using his daughter, and I hate when parents use their kids like that, and 2, he's dressed in a pretty snug overcoat and winter hat. She's wearing the thinnest pair of pajamas I'd ever seen. No coat, no gloves, no anything keeping her warm. They come back about 5 minutes later and he's still huffing about the lack of public restrooms. Well, that was horrible. Cold and dark for a little girl. Yep, I'm being dismissive dismissive because I'd rather he just spew his nonsense and leave than try and prolong her being out in this weather like that. Finally, they both come up with their stuff and I start ringing them out. I notice how sad the quiet child looks and I lean down before the entitled dad knows what's going on and ask her pretty plainly, "Would you like a sticker? We keep a big folder of stickers for some of our regular kids." She nods, shivering. I quickly grab a couple sets of the girliest stickers I can find and walk around from my register and crouch in front of her for display. She picks a sticker, purple cat playing with yarn. I pat it down on her shirt and they leave. The entitled dad totally silent and brooding. The moral of the story, dress your kids properly and maybe you won't have to worry about them being cold and upset. At least you tried to cheer the kid up. I'll give you kudos for that, OP. Yeah, you were really not in a great spot here with that dad being so horrible, but good job for trying. I mean, it's pretty obvious from this story that she's not getting a lot of pleasantry from her dad, so yeah, someone really has to jump in and try and make her day a little bit better. I can't really get over the fact that he doesn't just give her his coat or scarf or anything, or at least dress her properly. It's gonna be freezing cold, it's 7 p.m. Like, how about you just put some warm clothes on your child, maybe then she won't be cold and you can go and use the porta potty. Like, what? Anyway guys, that is gonna do it for this episode of r/EntitledParents. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done it already. 57% of you aren't subscribed. That's gotta come down, guys. If you want more immediately, there is a video on screen right away for you to watch, and if not, I will see you guys all tomorrow for a brand new upload, same time, same place.